The Middle East is where humanity's story truly begins. Here, in the land between the Tigris and Euphrates, our ancestors stopped wandering and started building. Mesopotamia became the world's first experiment in civilization, where people learned to farm, irrigate, and create surplus food. That surplus sparked the rise of artisans, priests, and soldiers, transforming small villages into the world's first cities. Cities like Uruk and Ur boasted monumental ziggurats and thousands of inhabitants. To manage these societies, the Sumerians invented cuneiform writing that let them record laws, trade, and epic tales like Gilgamesh. Meanwhile, along the Nile, Egypt flourished under pharaohs, building pyramids and developing hieroglyphics, medicine, and astronomy. The Nile's predictable floods made Egypt a beacon of stability and power for millennia. But the ancient Middle East was a crowded, competitive place. The Hittites in Anatolia mastered iron and clashed with Egypt at Kadesh. The Phoenicians, great seafarers, spread trade and the alphabet across the Mediterranean. Each new power left its mark, weaving a complex tapestry of cultures and innovations. The alphabet they created would evolve, shaping the very letters we use today. From mud bricks to empires, the Middle East set the stage for all of human civilization. Its legacy is the foundation of the modern world. The Middle East was not just a cradle of empires, it was the birthplace of faith. Here, the Hebrews introduced monotheism belief in a single, all-powerful God. Their covenant with God, recorded in the Hebrew Bible, set them apart from their polytheistic neighbors. Even in exile, their faith endured, evolving into Judaism, a religion carried in the hearts of its people. Prophets refined the idea of a universal God, paving the way for greater religious change. Centuries later, Jesus of Nazareth emerged, preaching love and salvation. His followers spread Christianity across the Roman world. Christianity took monotheism global, offering hope to the marginalized and transforming the region. In Persia, Zoroaster's teachings of a single wise Lord, Ahura Mazda, introduced concepts like heaven, hell, and final judgment shaping later faiths. The Persian Empire, under rulers like Cyrus the Great, became a model of religious tolerance, even allowing Jews to return to Jerusalem. The Middle East's spiritual revolutions would echo across continents and centuries. In the 7th century, the Arabian Peninsula gave rise to Islam. Muhammad's revelations, recorded in the Quran, called for pure monotheism and a just society. Islam united Arabia, then spread rapidly, creating a vast caliphate from Spain to India. Cities like Damascus and Baghdad became centers of power, culture, and learning. Arabic unified diverse peoples, fostering a shared intellectual world. The Islamic Golden Age followed. Scholars in Baghdad's House of Wisdom translated and expanded on Greek, Persian, and Indian knowledge. They pioneered algebra, medicine, astronomy, and philosophy, shaping science for centuries. Poets like Rumi and architects created enduring works of beauty and insight. This era's openness to ideas propelled human progress. The legacy of the Golden Age is woven into modern science and culture. The Middle East became a beacon of creativity and innovation. By the 11th century, the Islamic world's unity was fracturing. Into this turmoil came the Crusades, European knights seeking to reclaim Jerusalem. The First Crusade captured the city, shocking the Muslim world and sparking 2 centuries of war and uneasy coexistence. Leaders like Saladin united Muslims, recapturing Jerusalem and becoming legends in both East and West. Yet a greater threat loomed: the Mongols. Genghis Khan's armies swept across Persia, destroying cities and irrigation systems, leaving devastation in their wake. In 1258, Hulagu Khan's Mongols sacked Baghdad, destroying the House of Wisdom and ending the Islamic Golden Age. The fall of Baghdad was a trauma from which the region took centuries to recover. The Mongol invasions plunged the Middle East into chaos and uncertainty. The region's political and cultural trajectory was forever altered. The scars of these invasions shaped the centuries that followed. The Middle East would rise again, but the world had changed. From the chaos, new powers emerged: the gunpowder empires. The Ottomans, rising from Anatolia, conquered Constantinople in 1453, making Istanbul the heart of a vast empire. At its height, the Ottoman Empire spanned 3 continents, blending cultures and religions under a system of relative tolerance. The millet system allowed religious communities autonomy, fostering stability and diversity. To the east, the Safavid Empire rose in Persia, forcefully converting Iran to Shia Islam and creating a lasting sectarian divide with the Sunni Ottomans. Their rivalry shaped the region's borders and identities, a fault line that endures today. Under Shah Abbas, Isfahan became a center of art and architecture, half the world in its splendor. Safavid artisans produced exquisite works coveted far and wide. For centuries, Ottoman and Safavid competition defined the Middle East's political and religious landscape. Their legacies endure in the region's culture, architecture, and sectarian divisions. The empires faded, but their influence remains. By the 1800s, Europe's industrial might overshadowed the declining Ottoman Empire. Britain and France vied for influence, manipulating Ottoman lands through trade and politics. The Middle East became a chessboard in the great game between empires. Britain secured the Suez Canal and eyed the Persian Gulf. France focused on the Levant. World War I shattered the old order. Britain and France secretly carved up the region in the Sykes-Picot Agreement, ignoring local realities. After the war, the Ottoman Empire collapsed, and new colonial mandates replaced promised independence. Artificial borders served European interests, not those of the people. The betrayal of wartime promises bred deep resentment and instability. These colonial lines still haunt the region's politics. The legacy of foreign intervention remains a source of conflict. The 20th century brought two forces that transformed the Middle East: oil and Zionism. Oil, first discovered in Persia, soon made the region the world's energy epicenter, attracting foreign intervention and immense wealth. Western companies secured lucrative deals, often at the expense of local nations. Meanwhile, Zionism sought a Jewish homeland in Palestine, fueled by persecution and the horrors of the Holocaust. Britain's Balfour Declaration promised support for a Jewish home while also pledging to protect Arab rights, an impossible contradiction. Tensions between Jews and Arabs escalated under British rule, leading to violence and unrest. In 1947, the UN proposed partition. Jews accepted, Arabs rejected. Israel declared independence in 1948, sparking war with neighboring Arab states. Israel survived and expanded. Hundreds of thousands of Palestinians became refugees. This conflict became the core of Middle Eastern politics. Oil and the Israeli-Palestinian struggle would define the region's modern era. Israel's creation set off decades of war: 1956, 1967, 1973, reshaping borders and deepening the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. The Six-Day War made Israel a regional power, but left it ruling over millions of Palestinians. Post-colonial states, often unstable and seen as Western puppets, faced nationalist revolutions. Nasser's Egypt led a wave of coups and pan-Arabism, seeking unity and independence. The Cold War turned the region into a battleground for US and Soviet influence. In 1979, Iran's Islamic Revolution toppled the Shah, creating a revolutionary Shia state and inspiring Islamist movements. Rivalry between Iran and Saudi Arabia fueled proxy wars and instability. The 21st century brought new turmoil: 9/11s, US invasions of Afghanistan and Iraq, and the rise of extremist groups like ISIS. The Arab Spring in 2010 saw millions demand change, toppling dictators but often leading to chaos and civil war. Hopes for democracy faded as old regimes returned or new conflicts erupted. The region's quest for stability and justice continues. Today, the Middle East stands at another crossroads, shaped by ancient echoes and modern upheaval. Rival blocs, Shia Iran and its proxies versus Sunni powers like Saudi Arabia, now sometimes aligned with Israel, fueled devastating proxy wars. The US is stepping back, while Russia and China expand their influence. The unresolved Israeli-Palestinian conflict remains a source of deep tension, despite new Arab-Israeli alliances. Within nations, struggles for opportunity, freedom, and rights persist, with a massive youth population facing unemployment and uncertainty. Water scarcity, climate change, and repression add to the region's challenges. Yet, the Middle East is also a land of resilience, innovation, and potential. Its ancient civilizations and youthful energy continue to shape its destiny. The lines drawn a century ago are being challenged, and new alliances are forming. The story of the Middle East is far from over. Its future remains unwritten.